Hello there. Stones, nuts, rocks, cobblers, bollocks. Today's topic is one that doesn't often get discussed in philosophy or even in polite society, but it's important for my purpose to not hold back, to say what I think. And this is part of what I want to say. I'm talking about what it is to be motivated, what it is that I am. And I am, as fate would have it, a man. Now this particular topic is one that may offend some people, and in particular there are three things that I'm going to talk about that may make you want to switch off. And if that's the case, maybe you should switch off now. The first is the biological difference between males and females of the human species. I talk about this in non-pornographic terms, but some might be offended by that. The second is that I state that I am glad to be a man. And some may take the logical implication to be that it is better to be a man than a woman. And some may take offence at that. And the third thing, possibly the most offensive thing, I don't know, is that I'm going to tell a story. And this story involves certain bodily functions that are not normally discussed, although you often hear radio ads about them, and you can guess what those are. So again, if this is something that turns you off, maybe you shouldn't wait. Just switch off now. What else? Yes, the punchline of all this, which I want you to keep in your minds, is that philosophy is a passion, or it's worthless. Philosophizing is a passion, or it's worthless. You have to be moved to philosophize. It has to be something that you absolutely have to do, need to do. And if it isn't, if it's just a polite game or just an amusement, then you're wasting your time and you're wasting other people's time listening to you. That's obviously a very opinionated statement. You might want to disagree, and a lot of academic philosophers will probably want to disagree with that. The other thing is that, the background to this is all about motivation, and the background to this is there's a question or questions that I can never answer. In my blog Hedgehog Philosopher back in 2010, I wrote that I was walking towards a horizon that recedes as I advance. Every day I go forward, travelling through time at 1 hour per hour, but there is no possible progress on the questions that interest me. And you can either let this drive you mad, go into a kind of a dark mope, worrying about it all, or you can find various inventive ways of talking about it, communicating it, and not allowing yourself to get too bogged down in the negative side of it, thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to understand why I'm here, what this is all about, etc., etc. No, you're not. But there are plenty of things you can do in the meanwhile. And one of them is write, which is my solution to the problem. It's not the only thing I do. That mic is a real mic. I actually sing, or I've been getting my guitar out. I take photographs, I play chess. I do other things to fill the time. But philosophy, philosophizing, is and will always be my passion. Balls. Why am I here? Why do anything if you already know how it ends? What is the point carrying on? The story of poor Sisyphus, forever toiling up the mountain with his stupid boulder, has never moved me. Not 1 inch. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. What am I missing? Okay, I get it. I see why you are so moved. But you're wrong, just plain wrong. You've made a mistake. You seem to think that the only thing that makes any action worthwhile is some ultimate goal. You never get to heaven if you break my heart, sings Dionne Warwick. Why would I want that? I'm not thinking that far ahead, woman. I just want you. I know what I want now, at this moment. The present is what I care for. Of course, being prudent, I'm also mindful that what the future may hold in store. I'm not an idiot. But heaven? I can give that a miss. It is impossible for any experience, however sublime and wonderful, to make up for the abominable things that happen down here on earth. The only thing I have that is truly mine is my libido, the flame of my desire. Wanting something, or wanting to do something, or do something to someone, is the only reason for existing. So I say, thank you, God, for making me a man. That's from a Jewish man's daily prayer. Blessed art thou, O Lord, King of the universe, who has not made me a woman. Precise same formula is repeated for slave and Gentile. Note that gratitude, being thankful, is not mentioned here. Not at all. Whatever God has decreed, you accept as a fact, without question. You accept and obey. The fact that you are a man has consequences. There are laws that apply to you that don't apply to women or slaves or Gentiles. Thank you, God, yes, for giving me a penis and balls. Even though I know and feel in my heart there is no God and no gods, no author of my being besides myself, I am still thankful. I thank the genetic lottery. I am in awe of the fact that my fate was decided by a sequence of random events over which I had absolutely no control. And if I'd been born a woman? It's a strain, but I can imagine being thankful for that. I would not be me as I am now. I would be someone else, with different passions, different things that moved me. As the school playground joke goes, I'm glad I don't like spinach, because if I did I would eat it, and I hate the stuff. I thank myself for being me, for all the actions I have taken, some requiring considerable resourcefulness, or even courage, to get to this point in my life. I accept as a fact that things happen over which I have no control. Castles made of sand, as Jimi Hendrix so memorably sang in Axis Boulder's Love. The best laid plans go awry. And there's no one and nothing to blame except random fate. Talking of things going awry, on the day of my wife's funeral, my sister-in-law tried to kick me in the balls. I can still picture the distraught woman lashing out with her right shoe like Rosa Klebb in the Bond film From Russia with Love, while her brother and a male cousin struggle to restrain her. I won't repeat what I said to provoke the attack. My existential anxiety has never been higher than at that moment. Do professional philosophers have balls? Obviously I'm not now talking about the female variety. I know that you don't have balls, at least not literally. But I wonder about some of the males. Or maybe they had balls once, which withered away as the men sat hunched for hours at their desks, despondently marking undergraduate philosophy essays. Sisyphus, indeed. Why do I write? My personal reasons? Because I get off on it. You've heard that expression, haven't you? Or maybe you've heard it, but you thought it was somehow inappropriate in the present case. Poor you. I write because I like to see, love to see, words appear on a page. My words. You already know, because I've told you, that I write the old-fashioned way, with typewriter and paper. Why go to all the fuss and palaver? Because that is part of the pleasure of writing, that's all. When each sheet goes on the pile, it covers up the previous sheets. It is perfectly possible I will never look at the covered up sheet again. Its time is gone. It is past. After 4 decades, you can imagine how tall that pile is. a hermit living in a cave, has a special place outside where he shits, a ledge where he squats, and below the ledge a shit pile. Over the decades, that pile has grown to impressive proportions. He's proud of his shit pile, so proud, in fact, that when his cave becomes bat-infested and increasingly difficult to inhabit, he is unwilling to move to another cave. Or let's say there is a better cave, bat-free, but it is 5 miles down the rocky path. 5 miles just to take a shit. But the hermit will do it. He will walk that path if he has to. My shit is mine. I tap these keys, and each sheet of paper that goes on the pile is different from the one before and the ones before that. All mine. But in the end, proud as I am, it's only shit. Scheisse. Only the living thought, the thought I'm thinking now, at this very moment, has unqualified value in my eyes. The rest is just blood, sweat and tears under the bridge. And why do I philosophize? You already know the answer, don't you? Because I get off in it. It makes me high. And when I am writing a philosophy book, as I'm doing now, I can be high for weeks at a time. Oh, the joy of it. Philosophizing is a passion, or it's worthless. If you don't feel, in every part of your body, every fibre of your being, penis and balls, or vagina and womb, the need to philosophize and philosophize and philosophize, you're better off doing some other activity, one that better suits your temperament. Yeah, I realised while I was reading that I did list 3 things that might cause offence. There's probably at least another 2 that people would find offensive. You won't often find this kind of stuff in a philosophy book, but then, this is a very special kind of philosophy book, as I've already said. It pushes the boundaries in a certain way. It's about what I think is really real. And what is really real, yes, it's the ultimate questions, but it's also a person, a human being with a history, who has laboured, struggled, trod a long, long path to get to this point. And the question, why one does it, where you find the motivation, what's the point of it, is crucial. As I said at the beginning, this isn't about Sisyphus. This isn't about the thought that whatever human endeavour achieves is taken away and it's all pointless. I don't get that, as I said, I don't get it at all. This is about something else. This is about actually knowing there's something that you want which you can't get, not ever. An answer to the question. You can never get that answer. You can tell yourself the question in any number of different ways, but you're never going to make progress. And you can sit in a darkened room, driving yourself mad thinking about it. Or you can get on and do something, anything. Find a way to express how you feel about it. And that's what I've been doing in these chapters. And there's still more to come. I don't think there'll be anything quite as bad as what I wrote in this chapter, but there's more to come. I hope you stay with me till then. Bye.